Okay, so hello everybody. My name is Carolyn Riley Dill, and I am the Director of Campaigns here at GenWell. Thank you for tuning in to our webinar for GenWell Weekend, May 1st to 3rd this year, with the lovely Kathy Cartan, President and Founder of Motive Media. Just to give everybody a bit of context, GenWell Weekend is a national social health campaign that encourages people across Canada to prioritize meaningful face-to-face connection during two key seasonal transitions. It happens twice a year, one in the spring and one in the fall, and during times when research shows that people tend to feel a little bit more disconnected. We invite individuals over these weekends to celebrate in their workplaces, schools, communities, to take intentional action to connect with others. That might look like grabbing a coffee with somebody that you haven't seen in a while, organizing a team lunch, or hosting a neighborhood gathering, or simply striking up a conversation with someone new. Behind that simplicity is a bit of a bigger goal, which is improving social health at a population level across Canada. GenWell Weekend is designed to raise awareness about loneliness and disconnection while giving people permission and easy, practical ways to build stronger relationships in their everyday lives. So we already have a lot of people activating for this, including Kathy, and who is joining us here today to talk a little bit about her experience at GenWell and with GenWell Weekend. And she's been a longtime supporter of us and our mission and our campaign. And so I just want to pass you the torch here, Kathy. Thank you so much for being here. And yeah, if you wouldn't mind just like telling us a little bit about yourself, what you do, Motive Media, and how you first got involved with GenWell.
Well, yes, there's a lot of history there. We have participated in GenWell. I think GenWell Weekends probably since the beginning. They have been so beneficial for us to create a sense of neighborhood within our business and the building. I call it our business neighborhood. There's only 6 companies here, but it's fun now that you can walk into your office and you see someone outside theirs and you can actually greet them by name, and it's been beneficial for business as well too, because we've spread it to other companies that are very close by here, and it's always so well received, and everyone goes like, thank you so much for doing this. And I think we should be doing this more, but it's very important for us to be giving back to our community as well. It's a very big piece of who we are as Motive. We're definitely the corporate piece of it, but we feel very driven to give back to our community and our society as well. And as like you say, the whole human connection movement is so important. It's so important for everyone's mental health. And I find even just for myself, like like taking Pete's cue. Pete and I go way back to Molson days, so
Okay.
always like kindred spirits. Yeah, I've got so much admiration for his energy and his values and leadership. But it's when you talk to somebody, and I said to somebody the other day, hey, I really like your sweater. Like, that's amazing, right? And then it turns into this whole conversation. And then at first people kind of look at you and then they realize, okay, she's not nuts or whatever. Like, he's like, this is a legitimate, compliment, or hey, how's it going? So yeah, I felt that it's made a big difference for us in our little community here, and it certainly feels like we're doing our part for such an important cause.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I couldn't agree more. I've been learning so much over the last few months, and just something I've learned is that, talking to a stranger or, creating a conversation often goes so much better than we think it will. And just the ability to give people that permission and to be the person, like such as yourself in your community, to, be the catalyst for that is really cool. Thank you for sharing. Um,
Yes.
so you hosted Pete's told me like a funny story where you hosted a GenWell Weekend in 2017,
Oh
and
yeah.
would you mind sharing that story if you're thinking of the one that I'm thinking of with it was something with you met a customer following the
Yeah,
GenWell
yeah.
Weekend.
Yeah, and great guy. And they're across the street from us, and they came over, and uh, it's also I mean, like from the business side of it, I mean, it's very important, the connection piece of it. But for us, it's important for people to come and see our space too, because that's what we do. And then, they come in and they say, oh, these people get it, right? And then combined with the whole human connection and, the just the value system behind it. Yeah. So he came over and we've been doing business ever since. And it is good business, and it's someone who I greatly admire, who's been able to not only like give us business, but also give us business advice. Or I can run things by him and go, and then yeah, he'll pretty straightforward. But it's been great, and we've maintained it, and within other groups of his company as well.
Mm.
Definitely.
It's so funny how just like that level of proximity like has so much like opportunity for business, of course, and also just opportunity for connection in people's everyday lives, and how it's so easy to walk past those opportunities every day without actually
Yeah.
um, engaging with them. So it's really cool that you've had that and you were able to kind of cultivate that community in your business environment, which is really sweet.
And
um
it's funny, I'll just interject for a second
yeah,
on
yeah,
that one.
please.
It's when you ask people to come, they're kind of like, what? Like, and you realize it kind of takes a bit of guts on their part to show up, right?
Hmm.
Like you're committing to like, and now it's like, everyone comes over and, oh, what can I bring? Or, so, but when you see them first coming through the door and they're kind of like, and then all of a sudden they realize, oh yeah, it's just people getting together, right? It's almost like they think there's some like kind of catch, or like, or
Right.
do I really know these people? Do I really just want to show up with someone but it's always turns out great, and we have like group shots, and we catch up. It's good.
What an amazing, it sounds like you've really made it a tradition, is what it
Mm-hmm.
sounds like. It's something that people kind of tend to expect. And it's true. It's like we've been told for so long to, not talk to strangers, right? Like that's where that hesitancy comes from. We're like always a little bit hesitant. So, exactly like what you said, like that hesitation exists. And the more we do it and realize that it's, a
Yeah.
good thing, and
Yeah.
the world is a good place, and we're worth trusting people, and taking that initial first step. I think the more we do that, the better off we are. It's so true.
Our picture is actually on the website I saw, because we also did a family one. Like I have a huge family. I have
Okay.
like 4 brothers and 3 sisters,
Oh,
right?
wow.
So yeah,
Okay.
we did a GenWell a weekend, and did that, and, got the majority of us together. So it's different couple of things that we do, like even like simple get together with a coffee, but mostly it's a barbecue. But sometimes we'll do it as a family. So, and I love that it's not too structured either. It's not
Hmm.
like, okay, you got to show up between 1 and 5 at such and such a time, and get all your um you know whatever sponsorships, or it's just like, no, it's just get together. Hmm.
That's music to my ears. That's exactly
Yeah.
what we want, like GenWell Weekend to be too, is really just what works for you, like what works for the people. We're not asking people to, host a big event in their backyard with hundreds of people. Like, just like as you said, it
Like a
could be
street fair or
a
something, right?
street fair.
Because
Exactly.
people
Like
don't need any more pressure, right?
and I find that, the busyness is such a busyness is such a barrier. And if we're all already so busy, like, no, we don't want to be asking people to, and if people can and want to, absolutely go ahead, the more the merrier. Um, but just as you said, like it's not as it doesn't need to be a big complicated thing. Maybe it is just, saying hi to somebody in line at the coffee shop, or yeah, like hosting a barbecue with your family or your friends. And it's nice to hear. It's really refreshing hearing you talk about it, because it's true. Like we really, it's not that much to ask of folks, and I think it's just more of giving people that permission to do those things, and remind people to do
Hmm.
those things, that it's so important. So important. So I thank you for saying that. I
Hmm.
appreciate it.
Yeah.
Um, can we talk a bit about about Toronto Transportation Club? Are you still involved with them as the committee chair?
Yes. No, not as committee chair, but with the board.
Okay.
Uh, yeah, it's very much about uh, networking and getting together. And there's none of the like the government things like legislation or rules, or it's about people getting together and like-minded people within the industry. And it's interesting because there's very much event oriented, like this annual dinner where there's like, I don't know, 1,400 people. Like
Well,
it's crazy. But we
mhm.
just started doing, well, not just, it's been, I guess, a year and a half now. Sorry, hold on. Um, it's been about a year and a half now, and they're doing these simple ones, and it's at a pool hall, right?
Okay.
Pool hall, and it's only like $20 to come. So for $20, they come and they have free pool, and they get assigned to all different. Stop it. So for like $20, they get assigned for, um, all different teams. So you don't just necessarily go with your own people. So, and then there's hors d'oeuvres and things, and everyone has a drink ticket. And, they started out, I think the first time maybe they got 30, but the last one we went to, there's 150 people and they loved it. And everyone talks about what a great event it is, right? Because people can mingle around. There's no pressure. It's not like 1,400 where it's the annual dinner and it's expensive tickets to go. Like it makes it accessible, and they've turned out to be a really good part of the club for, especially for people who aren't necessarily executive level, but
Mhm.
within the industry, and looking to make friends and network throughout the industry. Hmm.
Absolutely. And just having that shared experience, I think, can take a lot of pressure off of people then like, especially in networking events, something that we talk about. It's like it can be really intimidating for people to just like go up and like introduce themselves to a stranger. And so when there's like an activity or like something to do, that tends to remove a little bit of the nervousness of like, let's just go shoot some
Hmm.
pool together and see what comes up in conversation. Let's do it
Hmm.
together for a little while. And um yeah, that's really great. I love to hear it. It sounds like you're pretty involved in a few different kind of channels of connection at Motive
Oh
Media
yeah,
and at the what is it? Sorry, Toronto Transportation Club.
and
It's
also,
interesting.
yeah, another big thing for me is I'm very much involved with my community.
Mm,
So like it's Main Street Schaumburg. So connecting people and promoting it, and like printing free stickers, or just it's all about uh connection. Like there's no doubt about it. Like even when I was at the optometrist today, I said to her today, I said, you know why I'm here, like how I got your name. And Holly's friend Angela sells eyeglasses frames. So I
okay,
asked her, "Do you know a really good optometrist?" And she goes, "Oh, that's cool, right?" And then we have a conversation, right? So all that connector piece is so important.
yeah, absolutely. And that's a good segue too. We've talked a little bit about, Motive Media. We've talked a little bit about the Toronto Transportation Club. For you personally, is like as a human, like how and why is like social connection like so important to you?
Um, I think it is so important because, first of all, it's seeing other people. Do you know what I mean? And that we're not just by ourselves. That there's the bigger picture, right? And it's also important to my values is if there's something you can do to help somebody, or and a lot of times it's like, yeah, sometimes things aren't so great, but man, there's a lot of stuff that is not great, and you can really help somebody, and you have no idea really of what somebody is going through. And I think especially right now with what's going on in the world, honestly, you feel like you got to be a kindness. I don't want to say warrior because it's the wrong word for it, right? That be really trying to say, okay, but look at this, or and and how you can just reflect that in your own life. It makes a big difference. And you know what? It's it sounds crazy, but well, it's not crazy. I shouldn't say that. It's you get so much from giving more than you receive, that you receive back. And it's so cliche, but it is so true. And I think I very much believe that if we all just do something, whatever it is, that we will change the world, that we'll make the world a better place.
Mm. Thank you. That's inspiring. I agree totally. And it especially like I live in Toronto, like in downtown Toronto. And so like I feel like I have such a different experience um engaging with community here in like an urban center versus like more rurally, which is in Schaumburg. I think I'm a small towner at heart, but I find my small town kind of community here in Toronto at like
Yeah,
coffee
you can
shops
make
and
it
the same.
wherever.
Right. And that's the thing that I think people say, I've heard people say over and over again, the city is more sterile, or people are less friendly. And I think as a society, if we and as like kind of leaders in human connection, like if we can say, hey, there's pockets of this everywhere, like there are places like optometrists and businesses, like people want to connect. We just need to give ourselves and each other permission to, take that first step. And as you said, it's like the more we do it, the more comfortable we're doing it. And we will change the world if we're just like trying to say hi to each other and say, hey, I know a optometrist, or I know this farmer down the road who has really great eggs. Like those sort of things are so important. So yeah, I appreciate you saying that, and I totally
Mhm,
agree.
mhm.
Yeah, it's nice. And I wonder, like, is this something that has always been true for you, or is like where did this awareness come from, I guess is my question. Like, is that something that you've developed over time, or since meeting Pete, or like where did this kind of leadership in human connection and champion of human connection, where did it start for you?
Um, I would say my parents probably,
Mm,
and with having so many brothers and sisters, right? And it was always like, stick up for the underdog, or just watch out for the other guy. Or, and I remember my mom saying to me one time, Kathy, you do realize you just get like perfect people, right? Like there's no one perfect. Everyone has a story,
yeah.
right? And and just there it's stuff that that happened to us as like my brother had an accident, and just how the community came forward, and just that sense of connection that you matter to somebody, or it's like, or that you can do that, and it's very much a value, or a goal is to give that back. Sometimes it's harder than other times, but definitely I think that spirit of uh, just being aware and just looking out for other people. Hmm.
Hmm. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, it's nice to it's I feel like the role modeling thing that you mentioned as well is a big thing. Like I did some research for my undergrad in kind of sentiments towards like experiencing outdoor education and outdoor recreation. And one of my
Hmm.
biggest takeaways was like the importance of role modeling at an early age for any sort of behavior, really. So I guess that makes sense that came from your parents and your family culture, and something that you've experienced as well
Hmm.
yourself.
Hmm.
So important. And again, as we can be leaders and be those role models for, our younger generations,
Hmm.
that's where I think we'll really start to see that impact, especially post-pandemic too. Like I think of
Oh yeah.
just like our kids in schools who just like don't know how to connect, and or they're having trouble connecting just because they were so, removed from interaction for so
I
long.
know.
I just really feel for them. I feel for the parents. I feel for everybody. So I think we'll get back. I'm super optimistic that we'll get back to it. It's just that I think we're still feeling those impacts.
And I think it was like almost like a perfect tsunami. It's like that happening, and just when social became so big, I think it actually fed that whole piece of it. And then the kids weren't going to school, like my grandson Jack and Ben were like grade 7 and 8, like and at the
Hmm.
end of the school years, like, so how was that like? Well, grandma, I just shut my computer. That's
Mm.
it. Right? It's like it's so hard. But having said that, I feel it myself too, because you know it's almost an effort sometimes to make yourself go somewhere.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like during the day and stuff, like, but especially at nighttime, right? And then every single time I go, I'm so glad I did that. I'm
Yeah.
so glad I did that. right? Oh, I saw so and so, or oh, I heard this great story, or so it's definitely uh, had such a huge impact. I remember when it was all happening and they were talking about that there's going to be a huge aftermath on mental health, right?
Mhm.
And it was like, oh yeah, I can see that, but I didn't really get it, right? Like, and now you can see that there's been a lot of disruption, and it's so important to get back to it too, right? Mm-hmm.
Absolutely. And just to your point as well, it's so easy to stay at home because everything has been made to be so convenient for us these days. Like, can I go get, say, cat litter from my local pet shop down the street, or can I order it off of Amazon? It's so easy to just, click the button and void that possibility of saying hi to the shop owner, like that sort of thing. So you're right. It takes a certain level of like being intentional to, leave the house and, be on our front lawn rather than our backyards and
Right.
say hi to our neighbor. I saw somebody, actually, I was walking up the street yesterday and I saw this guy playing guitar on his porch. And it was the most beautiful thing. He was just sitting there strumming, singing, and just doing his own thing, but saying hi to all the neighbors. And I was like, oh, that is so amazing to see. Like,
Yeah.
you could be doing that inside, you could be doing that in your backyard, but you're sharing this with your neighbors, just like very in a small but really meaningful way.
Like when you say that too, it's like, and I know it's a whole Zoomer thing or whatever, boomer, whatever. Uh, like I actually like going to the bank.
Oh, yeah.
Like there's this one teller I go to all the time. Like I always have my cards mixed up because I've got like 10 million for the business, and I have to go for certain like business stuff, and
Totally.
it's like, yeah, like, and I'll say to one of the kids, do you know that on Friday night we used to have a line up in the bank to get our money? There weren't ATMs, but then it kind of everything's online. But I actually like going in there, and someone says, "Hey, how's it going?" It's just a, but you go in there and you're like the only person, right?
Mhm.
It's like, yeah,
We're
but
interacting
it's
with
a point of
just
human connection, right?
totally, and we're so used to, we're just have so much more opportunity to interact with screens versus people these days. And I think that's great that, again, you're showing your leadership in, the human connection movement of going to the bank, and
But
and
it's also true. It's like, everyone, like everything is so controlled by certain great big technology things, right? It's like, okay, here's my little protest. No, I don't
yeah.
need to do it. I don't need to put a special message out or whatever. It's just like, gonna call someone, right? I'm just gonna call. How's it going? Right?
Absolutely. Yeah, and
Mm-hmm.
it's those little moments like we were just saying earlier. It's like it's small steps. Like, we're not asking you to delete all your apps or to delete social media or, throw a big party on your street. It's really just like those small moments that really add up. So that's I completely agree, Kathy. That's cool. Thank you for sharing that.
You're welcome. Thank
Um
you. Thank you for
yeah.
doing this.
My pleasure. It's great to connect and to chat with you. And I'm curious. So you've hosted a few GenWell weekends.
Yep.
What are some? So is it mostly barbecues? Like, what are some events that you've done? What are you doing this year? Any advice that you have for people that are looking to activate but like don't quite know how?
This year, we're going to we'll have it here, but we're not going to do the barbecue part because then
Okay.
I found that the people who are doing the barbecuing, like yeah, when people are talking to them, but they don't get to mix and mingle as much,
Right.
right? So I'm going to do it like it's there's this crazy new restaurant, or not restaurant. It's located in an industrial building and it's all takeout. And like they make these huge sandwiches and they make all their own bread and like it's gone viral, right?
Okay.
So there's like lineups around the block. So I'm gonna do that as our like, you know, just a fun thing to feature because it's another local business, right? And then we'll just set it up out the back this time instead of
Mm,
like being in the boardroom. Well, depending on the weather, right? And set up some tables and like just be outside. If it's a nice day, that's what we're hoping, right?
yeah.
Right. So also what I want to do too, and I don't know if I'll be able to do it, but I uh, belong to a group called Trucks for Change. So they do incredible work. So say, I don't know, a food company has 50 cases of extra soup or something, right? Or kids in the north need hockey equipment or deliver socks, or it's they also have developed a company that actually produces food from excess that are from big companies. So anyway, I want to try and get the trailer in the back, do you know? So I have that to talk about as well too. So just different ways of keeping people's interest and different ways of helping the community and doing it through, like you say, the human connection movement.
That's really cool. So would you say that you're bringing in, like, it sounds like you're bringing in kind of new people, new organizations to your activations every year?
Right, because what I find too is like, yeah, definitely that's the goal too. But
Okay.
there's all different people that are all doing all different stuff, right? That can all be helpful to one another as well.
Mm. And
You
that
know?
level of that's cool. It's cool because there's so much diversity in like your business park or where you're located, and we all have different things to offer. Like it's like a food share, not food share, but food rescue truck is what I'm hearing, and that's a really great way to just introduce people and businesses where we can like kind of cross collaborate. That's I find that really interesting. That's awesome.
Yeah,
If I may ask you a couple other questions,
sure.
clearly you're such a leader in this movement. And what are some of, actually, let me see which question. Yeah, well, I guess what would you say to other business leaders about the value of using GenWell Weekend as a reason to bring people together, whether that's like your team, your customers, or like the broader community?
Um, I think one of the things I would say, like just on the practical level, it's easy,
Okay.
right? There's not a lot of like you're not taking the whole team out for the whole afternoon to go do a charity event, or I mean, which is always important, don't get me wrong, that but this is just light and easy. You know, it's literally about, you know, connecting with other people, and it doesn't have to be, oh, I'm connecting with you because I want to get your business, or I'm connecting with you because you're in the same business with me, or you know, it's just the idea of the whole different human experience that you don't normally get if you just stick to your own little piece of it. But I just find it, I like talking to people.
Hmm.
So it's it's uh, besides easy, I would say it is important, right? Uh, with everything that's going on in business. Like I can be in my office and doing all this work and have not a clue what's going on
Yeah.
over there, right? Because like before you'd have to like walk the floor, you know, and a way to take you away from the computer, you know, and you know, have that time to just chat with people, and it's always amazing. Something always comes out of it, like
Mm.
not always business work or like
Yeah.
say the connection we just had with Bolton,
Yeah,
right?
exactly. That's such a good
You
point.
know, and it makes you realize there's more to this than we understand, you know, but it's I just think it's makes my day, and I love just hearing people's stories and just what's going on in other people's lives.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Oh, that's so beautiful. Thank you. And it's true. It's like, especially as a business leader, I would be curious to hear, like, you kind of touched on it already. Like, what role would business leaders, or do you think, I guess, or would you, yeah, what role do you think that like business leaders such as yourself and in other industries have in, this human connection movement? Like, what sort of responsibility do people have um, to foster connection in the workplace and within and among workplaces?
Oh, I think it is so important. I was on a panel for Trucking HR, which is a great organization, and it was for Women's Day, and they, you know, I spoke about connection, about, you know, I've been in the industry for so long, and the importance of connections and the importance of you know, always be willing to listen and to talk, and to be part of it all, get integrated. Don't just stick yourself in this role. Like, you're going to learn so much, like be flexible, pivot, and you can do that by connecting with people, right? Then people know who you are, or, what you have to offer, or just, anything about you at all, right? The importance of connection for all of us is you can't, I can't underestimate it. Mm-hmm.
I agree. It's like it's such a fundamental thing in work and in life, just to feel connected. I feel like it just enhances, and to be connected just enhances life. It enhances business. It enhances all of the things that we do as humans. And especially, I would say, like at work, you spend so much time with your people at work. And it's so important to have like leaders such as yourself that are care about that, and care about the importance of connection, and spend time, organizing GenWell weekends for for the businesses in your area. I think that's so important. So I will say, I hope that more business leaders such as yourself come along and come out of the woodwork. I think we need more people like you in this world, and it's been really, really inspiring to talk to you today. So thank you.
Well, thank you so much, and thank you for what you guys are doing on your journey and on your mission. I mean, I think at the beginning, people didn't understand. I think it was just like, what? Like, it, but now people are getting the message, and now more than ever, we need it. We need to be connected to other people, and that we don't all think differently, or we don't all have, access to grind, or, there's just people being people and caring about one another.
Yeah, and just as you said too, like at GenWell, it's like our kind of slogan, our tagline is like educate, empower, and catalyze. And such, like, just like you said, people didn't really get it for a long time. And it's the education is where it starts. Like we got to start with the why, as Simon Sinek says, and then go from there. And once people understand and are able to like kind of name these things that are happening like within themselves and within society, then we can really start, getting the ball rolling and creating meaningful behavior change in society at a big scale. So this is a great way that we can, educate people just about the importance of it from your lens as like a established CEO and founder, business leader, family member, community member, like all of the things that you are. And you're right. I think people are starting to get it. We're starting to grow because people are starting to get it. So I think that's
Yes.
evidence in and of itself, right? That we're starting to take off, which is great. So the more the merrier that we have in this movement, and for things like GenWell Weekend, the better. And it's great to have you part of it with, everybody that you engage with it with. Sorry, yeah, go ahead.
Well, and no, I was just gonna say, and the beauty of it too is that it can go across anything. It can be your neighbor, it can be your work neighbor, it could be people in the coffee shop, it could be your best friend from grade 7, right?
Yes.
It's like it's easy, and it fits anywhere, right? And it's needed everywhere.
And I think what I find, because I agree with you, it is easy. And I think it's a matter of naming it and like being intentional about it is where
Right.
we get that impact, right? Like I'm doing this. At the back of my head, I'm saying hi to my neighbor because I want to feel connected to my neighbors. But to really bring that to the front of our mind, to be like, oh, I want to feel connected to my neighbors, so I am saying hi. Or, I want to know the name of the barista down the street from me. Like to just be able to recognize that in our everyday kind of communications and be like, oh, this actually is very important to me. And it is something that I do and engage with all the time. Or it's something for some people it maybe isn't, but it is something that they want to do more. And it can feel like a bigger thing depending on what people are comfortable with. And some people are more likely to speak to strangers, others aren't, or to
Mhm.
people, but it's about meeting yourself where you're at, like, and that's
Yeah.
what's important is to just take one small step. If people are feeling lonely or feeling disconnected, it's a simple hello, a simple eye contact with somebody in the street. Like, start
Yeah.
small and go from there. That could be your GenWell weekend. If that is what is
Yeah.
for you, that is great, you know?
And I do have one more story that now that you're saying that, when you're
Yeah.
saying where did it come from, right?
Yeah.
So with so many brothers and sisters, believe it or not, my mom worked and she was a RN. She was a head nurse at Pine Grove Nursing Home that
Good for
was right
her.
beside us. So she didn't get off till 4, but we got off school at 3:15. So quite often we would literally walk to the nursing home that was right next door, and she would spread us out to visit with all the people in the nursing home that didn't get regular visitors,
Wow.
right? And we were like, oh, whatever, right? But then, then we get talking to people, and it's given us, all of us, such an appreciation for older people. And
Hmm.
we do work in long-term care, providing like brighten environments and, nature inspired, imagery. And it's just given us such a good outlook at, or insight, right,
Mm.
into the loneliness. Sometimes it's like, my gosh. And and when you read about how actually detrimental loneliness is to your health, right? But I was just
Hmm.
thinking, how lucky were we to have a mom who did that?
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Like,
Hmm.
like on top of everything else. And but and we would meet really fascinating people. There's one lady there that was the first woman QC lawyer, or just, it was like a really well run, and where they really cared, and lots of famous people, and it was fascinating. So it's right in us, I guess.
Total. Thanks for sharing that. It's such a one, like the role modeling of your mom. Like, kudos to her. That's amazing. I agree. Like, I think having parents that are prioritize that, and like, hey, you're gonna go and talk to these, older people that you don't know, and you're gonna learn a lot. It's a mutually beneficial kind of experience for everybody. I was reading this article about how there is this program, and the name of it is escaping me, but like, high school students were paired with people in retirement homes.
Oh, I love
And
that one.
yeah, and
Mm.
it's just like the way that it is so mutually beneficial for everybody is incredible. And it's maybe something that we'll discuss during our next campaign, which is Seniors Loneliness Awareness Week. You hit the nail on the head right there. Because truly um, it is such a pervasive issue. We are all, most of us, God willing, we will all be seniors one day and older adults one day, and so important for us to be learning how to maintain and establish and create, like, connections at an earlier age to carry us through to a later age. And it's amazing that you and your family were able to have that insight from almost day one, which is really sweet. It's important. That stuff is important. And kind of like we were talking about GenWell Weekend, but the whole thing of GenWell Weekend, it's like you can talk to somebody at a retirement home too. Like, it is, like you said, it is our most broad campaign because it really is meant to just be with everybody and be for
Mhm,
everybody. So
mhm.
it's funny how that weaves. It just weaves. It's all connected. Connection is all connected. But yeah, it's really cool. Thanks for that's a good story. Thank you.
And I can also add to, like, my kids all do it too, right?
Mm,
It's hockey, it's helping out, like, uh like on the 25th, it's I don't know, cleanup day. So
yeah.
I'm taking all my grands, and we're gonna go clean up.
Mm,
So, and just that part of being part of the community. And that my granddaughter Isla, like, she knows everyone in Schaumburg.
oh
Like, she
yeah.
goes up and talks to anyone. It doesn't matter, and everyone knows her. And it's like, she's 6, right?
Schaumburg
So
famous.
yeah, Schaumburg famous, exactly. Yeah, definitely. So,
Oh my
well,
goodness.
that was a lot of really great questions, and really got me thinking about it too, and the importance of it. I like
Kathy, thank
that,
you. Yeah, it's gonna be great. And yeah, thank you so much for your time and
and
for
thank you for
your
your patience
oh
in continuing to connect. Yeah.
no patience required. I know life gets busy, and I'm glad we were able to make it work. And yeah, and thanks like also just for your like ongoing, not even just today, like your ongoing support. I know you've been involved with GenWell far longer than I have, so you're a true champion. And it's
Yeah,
we
I
need
believe in it.
people like you to like really be our leaders. And so thank you, like from myself and Pete and the whole team. Like it's important to us, so thanks.
Well, thanks. Okay.
Okay, I'll send you an email. And thanks again.
Okay, you take care.
Thanks. Bye-bye.
Bye.
1, 2,